Hello everyone. Today I'm going to run through touchpads, what they are, how you apply them and the different types that we sell. So, touchpads are these things. They improve your first touch and they also help to protect your stick a little bit as well. They are a super durable plastic sticker which is replaceable, which goes on the face of your hockey stick. They are a tiny bit spongy, but they primarily improve first touch because they reduce the spin when you receive a pass from another player. The reduction of spin is particularly noticeable on super wet AstroTurf pitches, as these pitches don't tend to reduce the spin that players generate on the ball when they're passing to one another. Some players swear by them and use them all the time. Other players prefer a more traditional hockey stick face feel and so remove them straight away. They are a replaceable item. You can buy them new and replace them whenever you feel like. We suggest every 2 months because then the bond becomes so great that it's difficult to take them off. At Crown Hockey, we now sell touchpads in 3 different varieties. We have a regular touchpad, which looks very similar to the profile of a normal hockey stick. We then have a grooved touchpad. Now the grooved touchpad has these grooves. You'll see that the shape of these have changed as we've improved upon them, and the grooves aid to reduce the spin even further. Some players prefer the grooves because they're used to stopping the ball dead and want absolutely no spin on the ball and want to trap every shot. But others that maybe perform more 3D skills or want to dribble fast with the ball would tend to go for the regular touchpad, just because you can feel the grooves as you play. The touchpads in general are quite thin and are intentionally designed to not affect the stick face too much. We don't want a thick wodge of plastic on the end of your stick that increases the weight or makes a very spongy hitting effect. We want it to feel like a normal hockey stick, just with improved first touch. The groove pads are particularly good if you're stopping an injector's pass at the top of the D during a short corner routine. The final and newest touchpad product that we sell is simply a touchpad rectangle shape. It is just a piece of tape that we've cut down, and the intention of it is that players can put it anywhere they like. So there are many different touchpad options that you can go for, and now I'm going to go through how you apply them. So applying a normal touchpad is very easy. I'll cut to previous me who's putting a touchpad on now. Start on one edge of the touchpad, usually the inner hook and then the reverse hitting edge, and then really it's a case of pushing all the air bubbles out, starting from one spot and working your way outwards. On a brand new super clean stick, this is a pretty easy task. This is a pressure sensitive adhesive, so the more that you press it, the stronger it sticks to your stick. However, most of the time you're not going to be applying a touchpad to a new stick. So with me here, I have a used Shadow Series Crown stick, and I'll show you some little tricks that you can do when applying a touchpad to an already quite used stick. The first thing you have to do is clean the stick very thoroughly and make sure it is completely bone dry. It is a classic error when applying touchpads to bring your stick to a wet hockey pitch, have a tap around, and then try and apply a touchpad to a wet, gritty, dirty stick. That's very, very difficult. You're definitely not going to get a great bond with it like that. Try your very best to get in all the nooks and crannies if you have any chips especially, and then make sure you rinse off all residue of soap or fairy liquid or whatever you're using, just so there's no residue of any soap left on the stick afterwards. So, I'm back from my kitchen sink with now what is a very wet Shadow Series stick. The next stage is to make this bone dry. Got a little bit of kitchen towel, and any kind of towel obviously will work. It is a good idea to give it a little bit of a blast from a hairdryer. Now, you don't want to burn through a hole through the stick. You just want the stick to be warm to the touch. A warm stick will bond better to the touchpad adhesive than a cold stick. I now think I have a perfectly dry stick. I've tried to make sure that any of the little chips that I have in the coating have definitely been dried out. I'll get close up and show you how I apply a touchpad to this stick. Here is my stick. You can see that the stick does have some chipping to it and obviously some scuff marks. It's a lot cleaner than it was, so it's looking okay. But it is definitely a fairly well used stick. If these chips were much bigger, I think I would suggest getting some sandpaper, something like a 400 grit sandpaper, and very lightly and delicately going over the stick, just so that you had a good surface to bond the touchpad. And you start off by peeling off the backing, and I begin by focusing on the inner hook. So I'm just pushing pressure inside the C of the hockey stick and working my way along this edge. Now I work out with my thumbs. So I'm just moving, trying to push out all the air bubbles that I can, but always working away from my starting point of the C. You can, if you're quick, flick it up to get something. It's okay to have a few air bubbles, obviously, because especially a used stick will never look as air bubble free as you can get a brand new stick. But something like that is pretty good. I'm paying particular attention to get into the chipped areas, smooth it all out. I usually go around the very edges as well with my thumb. The stick is still a tiny bit warm from the hairdryer, and there you go. That's a touchpad on a used stick. Give this a little tap around the evening before your game or your training session, and the hits of the ball against the stick will strengthen the adhesive of the touchpad to the stick. In a month or two's time, remove it, put another one on, and you'll have the same face feel that you always had. So yes, thanks for watching everyone. Check out the Crown touchpads. We've got the new groove ones available and the new rectangular ones. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, share this around, let us know what products we should make in the future, because we're trying to make the best hockey products we can. And see you later everyone, keep safe, play hockey, bye bye.